And I'm at Enterprise Connect with one of my favorites, Klearcom. Gentlemen, how are you?
Brilliant.
We are good, Evan.
Thanks for being here. You're wearing the Irish green today, which is awesome. We'll start with introductions. First of all, Thomas, introduce yourself, and how do you describe Klearcom these days?
Yes, I'm Thomas Piacek. I'm the Director of Global Sales in Klearcom, and describe what we do in Klearcom is really a CX end-to-end assurance platform, essentially, and you can test across, I suppose, voice channel, chatbot, SMS, essentially.
Much needed here. And Michael, introduce yourself.
Yep.
And Klearcom's based in Ireland, but you serve customers globally. How do you describe your role here at Enterprise Connect among all the vendors?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm on our customer team, and I head up that team to look after our customer relationships. And we're out here in the US. We want to see, first of all, by attending the likes of Enterprise Connect, to see what's happening in the industry. But also we meet with our customers here. We meet with new prospects, and it's very exciting to see new things happening.
Indeed. And Michael, how do you describe some of the challenges that you solve specifically with customers? Are there the top 2 or 3 for challenges that you see again and again in your engagements?
Yeah. One of the things I suppose we see a lot is the fact that people are testing, but they might be doing it manually. And it's just usually time consuming. It's, subjective rather than objective, and it's more reactive. So we're trying to flip the coin on that for customers and to ensure that, they are put in a position of power that their customers are not like crash test dummies.
Right.
And, bearing those,
no
the brunt
offense
of
to
those
crash
problems.
test dummies.
Exactly. Yeah. But that they know about problems before their customers are impacted. So that's basically, I suppose, in a nutshell, one of the key things that we help with. And Tom, you might want to talk
And
about.
Thomas, how do you engage with customers? What does an engagement look like? How quickly can you deploy to enhance a network, for example?
I suppose the engagement is very quick, and how to roll. You mean kind of how to roll out the platform? Is it? Yeah. I suppose it's non-intrusive platform, and that's I suppose the USP that nothing needs to be installed on customers' environment, contact center, CCaaS platform. And all we need from their side is the numbers, I suppose, and then they can do the rest, essentially, So, and that's the power of it. So even if customers, I suppose, need testing during migration, you see customers migrating from old legacy platforms to the cloud, or everything is going away from DTMF to speech, conversation, agenting AI. Look, they need to test. And I suppose having
Fantastic.
that, yeah.
And you've been around for years. What's new here at Enterprise Connect? Any news announcements, features, functionality? I followed you guys for some years. What's new?
Yeah, I suppose. Look, you hear the word AI, I suppose, a lot, right? But I suppose what's new is kind of how you would test the AI as well.
Well, that's a novel concept, testing AI. Okay.
Yeah. So, because everyone talks about how it will improve things, and obviously that will happen. But also the key aspect as well, how you will test the AI to ensure that when you deploy it, will it actually deliver, I suppose, the accuracy for your customers as it should, right? But without you actually testing it, you don't know if that's going to happen or not,
Test, trust, but verify, I think is the message.
Exactly.
And Michael, you're in a small island on the coast of Europe called Ireland, but you serve customers globally,
Yes.
many in the US.
Absolutely.
Talk about the cloud side of the business and how that works.
The cloud side of the business. So we our solution is a SaaS based solution based off AWS. It enables us to serve customers in the US that want to house their data, say for instance in the US only, but also across the globe. I suppose the key thing is with and Tom I think touched on this, the fact that it's a SaaS platform. You'll have different users. So you'll have a big multinational company. It could be US headquartered, but they might have employees in India. They could have employees in Australia, in the US. But with the platform, they can all log into the platform at the same time, and they can all use the platform and use it for different purposes at exactly the same times.
Fantastic. How do you demonstrate ROI with something like quality and service assurance and testing?
Yeah.
What's the kind of elevator pitch there?
Yeah, I suppose it's
for finding problems. Not everyone wants to know about their problems. Yeah.
I suppose every test is like a confidence metric. So, when you're testing and things are good, that things are good. So that's, a great thing. But also if things, go down. You could have, say, a number that's down in, say for instance, it could be in the US or it could be in another country. You could be relying on customers telling you that, or agents telling you that. If they tell you quick enough, you could miss, vital calls. We work with a lot of, pharmaceutical companies. They can't afford to have anything like that happening.
Right.
So they'll test at a, really tight cadence to ensure that they know about issues as quickly as possible. And the ROI, I suppose, it's very simple in that, the likes of, I suppose, if you know the cost of an outage to you, and it mightn't be a kind of a tangible cost, but it could be reputational, it could be, several different things. But if you can, have, I suppose, a good approximation of that, well then Klearcom is really a very, I suppose, good solution to have in place from an ROI perspective.
Interesting. And Thomas, what kind of customers do you work with? I assume directly with enterprises, directly with contact centers. What about the vendors and the integrators and everyone else on this mix?
Yeah, so it varies. I suppose it's the end customer, the multinationals like the HP, the Pfizer of the world, and you have I suppose BPOs, the carriers as well themselves.
Right,
I suppose as well. Then you have the consultancies as well that I suppose pushing something like this to their customers, because otherwise I suppose on the CCaaS platforms, right, that they should adapt. But then as well, if they're adapting something like that, they as well need to bring as part of the package, I suppose, the testing piece as well, right, to ensure that the rollout is, I suppose, successful with a minimum impact on the end user, essentially.
Interesting.
So.
And how do you either one of you? How do you think about testing in a world of you've got mobile now, you've got video, you've got new endpoints, new apps, new LLMs? How do you keep ahead of the curve when it comes to all these technologies?
Look, I suppose it's the industry, right? The industry as well, or the market, the companies themselves. They drive, I suppose, where we are going next as well, and we adapt as well. So look, everyone talks about, voice is going away, and you have more channels like the SMS, the chatbot. Obviously, that's coming in, but I think it depends on, okay, is the conversational, I suppose, a high value or low value, right? And then that's kind of spreads out, I suppose, where the companies go. But we're getting more and more asked now, can we do SMS testing? Can you do chatbot testing?
Yeah.
Can you do kind of pre-production IVR testing? And so, yeah.
Brilliant. And can you give us a peek into the future? Anything on the roadmap or future products, news announcements that you can share? What are you excited about?
Yeah. So one of the things that we've always had I suppose a suite of testing and the likes of chatbot testing, but we're announcing a new chatbot testing module, and it's very slick, it's very user friendly to use. It's something that's extremely important. Like we've found that some of the customers that have moved across to us, there was a major airline, and they had an issue with a customer coming onto their chatbot and asking about, sensitive thing like a relation of theirs had a bereavement and they needed to book a flight.
Oh, wow.
To get back early. In that case, the chatbot told them incorrect information, that they could get a refund afterwards after paying the full price, and they pursued it afterwards and went to court. And the airline thought that it was a separate, legal entity, that the chatbot was a separate entity. But what they're realizing now in the industry is that the chatbot is it's the extension of the company. So you need to be able to test that rigorously, make sure that it's on brand, make sure that, if it's a certain kind of personality, that it stays within those rails.
Wow.
But also, if you kind of, you don't have a static conversation, if you change your mind when you're talking or when you're typing, well, then it needs to be able to keep up and move with that as well. So, and Tom will tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so much to think about.
Yeah. So, but what Mike's kind of touching on is kind of testing the structured, unstructured, I suppose, journeys. Is it in hours, out of hours? Is a chat bot, I suppose, responding? I suppose the messaging or the answers are correct answers, and then the customer doesn't get frustrated. You're looking at the behavior as well of the text in the chatbot itself, right? Really understanding, I suppose, the experience, but also the behavior, what you are seeing. Right, because then you want as well look at, I suppose, how quickly, if someone says, I want to chat to an agent, how quickly does that get to the agent, I suppose? Is there any latency happening, right? And that's what our platform will pick up on that. Was that in that SLA that I suppose you the company has in place, right? So, and that's very exciting, I suppose.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
much I haven't even imagined, and you guys, of course, see it all the use cases, all the scenarios. Final thought here. You guys are dressed in green. Ireland's known for its legendary hospitality and welcoming, and you've even come bearing gifts, which is much appreciated. I have some socks here, which I've actually run out of socks, living in a suitcase for 2 weeks. And more importantly, you brought a full tasting menu. And do you still like tourists in Ireland, or are you fed up with them? Are you fed up with the Americans coming in and...
Never.
No,
Never.
Okay.
No. And you know what? It's because I suppose there's a lot of history. There's a lot of people have, I suppose Irish blood, we call it.
Right.
So we recognise each other as comrades, I think, and we
especially
do business
in Boston.
together. Really
Boston,
well.
it's like a second Dublin. So,
Yeah.
well, I assume you're open to customer visits too, and headquarters
Absolutely.
in Dublin City. So, folks, go visit Ireland and then go visit Klearcom. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.